Hey, what is up guys? My name is Kieran and I'm back once again like a persistent yeast infection for another video on Not Productive. So I've been having some fun with these videos, bringing you some lists of my favourite things, and I thought I'd do that once again with my top 5 conspiracy theories. So I don't really have long enough on this video to try and debunk any of these theories because, you know, by the nature of the theories themselves, they try to fill in the gaps where people don't really know what happened with their craziness. But my number 5 top conspiracy theory is that the AIDS virus was created by the CIA and disseminated to maybe the African American, maybe just the African, or maybe the homosexual community, or maybe all three, in order to try eradicate them. And our proponents of the theory claim that this is supported by the fact that the AIDS virus magically appeared in the 1980s and that there is no other way this could have happened apart from either science or witchcraft. And witchcraft isn't real, you idiots, so it must have been scientists. Of course, the crazy history of the CIA does not help to discredit the theory in this instance, but you would have thought if they were going to create a virus to wipe out a particular set of people, it wouldn't be one which made you scared to have sex with random people. I mean, if they made a virus which meant that it was likely that you were going to die if you got into a committed long-term relationship, then I would maybe believe that it was man-made, but in this instance, no. Number 4 is easily the most creepy on the list, and it is the claim of the lost cosmonauts. So this theory goes that back during the time of the space race, when the USSR and the USA were fighting to get the first man into space, the Russians launched a series of unsuccessful space programs which left many astronauts out in space abandoned and ultimately to die. I mean, there's lots of little bits of evidence, including the fact that you could just think that they probably wouldn't have been successful in the first try, but probably the most persuasive of them is that of a Italian listening station which claims to have heard a confused, frightened woman screaming for help as her shuttle re-entered into the Earth's atmosphere. They also claim to have a couple other recordings, one of a guy who claims to have a failing heart, and another one of some people saying, "Yes, we have made a successful trip to space," in what would probably have been a more authentic Russian accent. Number 3 on my list is a theory of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Now, I have to say a little bit of a spoiler alert of this one. If you haven't seen the Da Vinci Code or read it, then you want to click off this video before you do that, because this theory says that despite the conventional view of Jesus being a bit down on the whole promiscuous sexual relations thing, he in fact did have sexual relations and eventually a baby with Mary Magdalene, who then went off to South America or something and then had a bunch of kids who should now be the King of France. I can't remember exactly how the story goes, but it's something similar to that. There's a Gospel of Philip, which was discovered in 1945, which claims to support this, and this one is just way too big to ever crack into in a sub 10-minute video, so if you want to go find out more about it, there will be links in the description. And my penultimate theory, number 2, is the Illuminati. Now, I shouldn't have to do much explaining because pretty much everyone nowadays knows about this, knows about the whole theory that there is a secret group of extremely powerful people who control pretty much everything that goes on in the world. They control the world's popular media. They pay people like Tiny Temper to do this in their music videos and therefore support their crazy reign of terror. And they will eventually, some people believe, establish the NWO, the New World Order, which will enslave us all and make us do their bidding for the rest of the time that the world exists. And despite the fact that it can be ever so fun to click through frame by frame a video and look for anyone doing that or making a circle or something to do with like a devil pose, I think that people are being a little bit silly here. They think that they need to look for some sort of secret organisation when there is a group of people who do control the world and they aren't that secret about it. I mean, it doesn't take long to go onto the Forbes most rich list in the world or to look at the profits of Exxon or Walmart, who get close to about $500 billion a year in gross revenue, to realise that there are some people out there who have a rather disproportionate share of power in the world. These are, of course, by the way, a lot of the same people who bankroll the politicians in America and other countries and can quite heavily influence political change through their dollars. So I'm not going to go into a huge political rant right now, but I might add my own fun conspiracy theory, which is that the Illuminati was created by these incredibly rich people, and they are the ones who are actually paying to have the idea of the Illuminati injected into popular culture to try and mask their own influence on the government and many other things and stuff. I know my use of describing this theory with things and stuff doesn't exactly add to its credibility, but I hope you can see where I'm going with this. It was a double bluff all along. The Illuminati was created by the actual real world Illuminati, who don't call themselves the Illuminati, they just call themselves rich. But anyway, on to my number one conspiracy theory, and my number one isn't really a conspiracy theory because it did actually happen. And it is Operation Northwoods. Some of you might have heard of it already, but it was a plan by the CIA, the CIA again, in 1962 to plan false terrorist attacks in the United States to try prompt an invasion publicly supported of Cuba. Don't know if those words came out in the right order. The CIA were going to do things like blow up public buildings and hijack airliners in order to create the idea that Cuban nationals were doing these terrorist attacks and thus make people want to attack Cuba and take out Fidel Castro as their leader. Of course, Fidel Castro was a communist who was supported by the USSR, who were the biggest enemy of the US at the time. Many of you will know this already, so I'm not going to patronise you with the information. Now, this is my favourite conspiracy theory of all time because, number one, it's real. How often do you actually get to say that? And number two, it spawned the two arguably biggest conspiracy theories of all time, which is number one, the JFK assassination, and number two, of course, what else could it be? The 9/11 cover-up. In terms of the JFK assassination, apart from there being a bunch of other evidence to support that, people claim that because JFK was the one who personally stopped this operation going ahead, the CIA had him taken out in revenge or in order to try and complete this at a later point. In terms of 9/11, it's actually kind of obvious to see why people could think that if the government were going to plan fake terrorist attacks in 1962, they could have also done it in 2001 in order to stir up propaganda for the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, I don't personally subscribe to these theories, but, you know, when the CIA is crazy enough to write up official plans to do this, you can kind of see where people could get this idea from. But anyway, if you want any more information about any of these conspiracy theories, there will be links to all of them in the description below, and you can just Google any of the words that have been coming out of my mouth. I mean, it's 2013, you guys should really know this by now. So sorry if I've been talking rather fast and theatrically in this video, but there's been a lot of information to get out. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will hopefully see you all again soon. There'll be links to my channel and my Twitter and my Facebook and everything if you ever want in the description, along with the conspiracy theories. So yeah, bye.